It's 5:30 and in another 1 minute time we will be starting. Welcome Brijesh, Anandi ma'am, Sonam and all those who are attending today's Rapid Talks with Rachna once again. Welcome you all to our talk show. So before I start with, I would like to add on that I would like to say that Rapid Talks with Rachna is an initiative of Fun to Learn. It's a 15-year-old ISO certified organization, basically dealing with co-curricular activities like handwriting improvement in just 10 hours, irrespective of the age, then the mental maths calculations, jolly phonics, spoken English, speed writing, and many more programs. So far, we have trained around 1,25,000 students all across India, now spreading our wings globally. And this pandemic, we thought, why not get experts from different fields and have a talk show so that all of us can be benefited out of this lockdown period. So today's topic is about startups, the challenges faced by the startups. So to start with, I would like to say you must have heard about the theory survival of the fittest. And you must have also heard the statement, a smooth sea never makes good sailors. Both the survival of the fittest theory and the statement above fit really well with the world of startups. And the world of startups is a violent one. There are 150 million startups in the world today, with 50 million new startups launching every year. On average, there are 1,37,000 startups emerging every day. These are the huge numbers by any standards. Usually we see when we hear about startups, there are a lot of challenges faced by the startups like the fierce competition already existing in the market, the financial management, be it the financial management or the winning the trust of the customers. So to discuss this, today we have our guest from across borders, the beautiful Myanmar. Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, is a Southeast Asian nation for more than 100 ethnic groups bordering India, Bangladesh, China, Thailand, and so on. Formerly Rangoon, the country's largest city, is the home of bustling markets, numerous parks and lakes, and the towering pagoda, which contains Buddhist relics and the dates to the 6th century. Today, our guest is, as I already mentioned, from across border, the beautiful Myanmar, Sunita, Miss Sunita. She is a professional bestowed with Global Youth Leadership 2019 and Asian Youth Leadership International Award from Myanmar from Global Youth Parliament, Nepal. Second prize winner of for Myanmar Business Plan Contest 2013, jointly organized by UMFCCI and CIESF. She is a Global Youth Advisory Board at Global Youth Parliament. She also is a NRNA NCC EC member. She possesses nearly half a decade of experience with proven track record of excellence in human resource development across various industries in banking, United Nations, local and international firms, NGO, INGO, SME, retail, entertainment industry. Has an experience as serving community as one of the former global shaper from World Economic Forum and has experience working with the Red Cross Habitat for Humanity in United States. Self-motivated, creative, enthusiastic individual having an entrepreneurial background in establishing startups in Myanmar. Earned as a master's degree from HR from the United States from Webster University. Wow, that's amazing. A very strong profile, I must say. Currently, she runs an organization called Knowledge Powerhouse and runs her own foundation called Sunni Educational Development Foundation in Myanmar. She lectures at the university for master's and bachelor degree students at British-based degrees. So before welcome on board, Sunni, I would like to address you as Sunni, as most of us know you. So Sunita, I would like to, before I start with the conversation on startups, I would like to know how did you enter into this field? So if you would like to add, I read your professional profile, but what made you do so many things? I would just like you to add on this.
Okay. And thank you so much, Miss Rachna, for really a nice and humble, and really you are very kind to really, introduce me here with all the talented leaders here. And thank you so much. And also I would like to really greet everybody. Good evening. And Namaste and Minglava from Myanmar. And we call Myanmar, Minglava in Myanmar greeting. So I'm really like glad to be here, and as I like to always share, I love sharing whenever possible, right? Like even offline or online, I've been always sharing. And now that Miss Rachana is asking how did I turn up to be here and I am doing right now, why do I do what I do, right? I would say that like I started off this startup journey when I was 22 and 22, and when I was a bit, I think I would say that I was a bit young. And but the thing is, like, I had this entrepreneurial spirit and myself, with my with my potential, and also I think my personality itself is like entrepreneurial. So I thought that okay, let's do something. And after finishing the school, I returned back home, and instead of like just staying back in the country and like looking for something else, but I thought that this is an emerging market. This is an emerging market, we have a lot of potential to do a lot of things. And so I decided that let me come back and let's do something. So instead of going to the corporate world, I started with a startup with my friends. And as soon as I got done, like I think maybe I should say that I was a little bit ambitious, because instead of like roaming around or taking a break, I started working after after 1 month of this graduating. So like just like any other young individual, and having this ambition and stuff. So I just started my startup with my friends. And then of course that time I had like less experience, and I did like a startup, and then I would change different business or different other work and stuff like that. But then I think that is because of my experience that I didn't really know, it takes time for startup to grow. So that was some of my mistakes, which I learned a lot, and then learned a lot with the journey. The thing is, like, what we have to know is like every business takes time, right? So we cannot really be in hurry. So that's how I ended up like starting with the startup and then getting into this entrepreneurship. And then I wouldn't really say that I only went for only entrepreneurship. I wanted to gain some experience in corporate world as well. So I have been to corporate world, worked in the bank, and I wouldn't say that I have worked so long in the corporate world, but then there too I gained a lot of experience working with the expats, and working with expats from different countries, which really gave me like insights. And also I got opportunity to explore. And right now I'm into education, like training and development. And how I ended up in this startup is like when I was in corporate world, I was actually this project manager, where I was doing a project, like leading project. And there I got this opportunity to do training for about 300 staff in the bank, and as a lead trainer. So that's the thing what really inspired me to do this startup. So instead of like sticking around, because I realized after a year or something that I'm with my personality, I'm more comfortable being an entrepreneur than being in a like corporate world. So I left, and I got a potential, because I was never into this training industry, even though I finished up school in HR masters, but then I was not really doing any HR trainings and stuff like that. So that was a time where I got this exposure, and I figured out my potential, that I'm not that bad. So that's a time when I had to work with this visa company, and across the US from Myanmar. So I was coordinating with them, and that was really a time that where it really gave me a confidence that if I can handle this 300 staff, and where that really was an inspiration for me, that it's a really nice thing, something to do for my country. And also one thing is there that I've always been a philanthropic person, and also working in social work and stuff like that too, side by side. So, you know, my impact, my motto, one of my motto is like to impact life positively, which I follow. And I do follow that motto everywhere, whatever I do, that my intention is like, I want to impact everybody's life positively. So I stick around with that motto and work for anything. So along the way, all this journey that, you know, I try to gain experience from this corporate world as well, and also working in from this training industry as well, working with a UN or entertainment. I have done the entertainment startup as well once with my sister. So, and then that too, like, you know, like I told you, I had less experience. So I didn't know that, you know, it takes time for a startup to really grow. But this is the first, I should say that this is my third startup, and this is the first time which I'm sticking now. It's in third year now, 2018 I started. So I should say that this is quite some time, and I realize that it takes time for your business to grow. You shouldn't jump. So this is one tip. If anybody is aspiring entrepreneur over here too, if anybody is willing to go into entrepreneurship, please be patient and take some time, because it really takes time for your business to grow. We cannot just like change, and it's not like, you know, at the end of the month or at the end of the year you can see so much of difference, because it's a lot of work. And also, like, of course, even in corporate world, it's a lot of work. I wouldn't say that it's no difference. Of course, it takes time for whether you are in corporate or whether you are in entrepreneurship, doesn't matter, right? So in entrepreneurship, if anybody is really willing to go, then please be patient for yourself. And that's a mistake which I did with my own experience. I learned that it takes time and to really monetize and to grow your experience. And also, I would say that more than learning from any university or something, right now I'm teaching some of this aspiring entrepreneurs trainings as well, and I am doing some courses and stuff. But then what I always suggest them is like, go out. Don't just get trainings, you know, don't just learn from me. We can only guide you. You know, we can only guide you. And also, everybody's story is different. You know, we all have a different story, and also our circumstances and our plans and our ideas are all different. And maybe even our market will be different. So the thing is, like, we cannot just like that talk about like facts and figures. Okay, this is entrepreneurship, anyone can follow it. It's not the way. So the thing is, best thing you can do if you want to go to entrepreneurship is like to start working. And also, there's no age limit. If you are even 15 or 16, if you have some great idea, just start. You can start it, you know. So that's the thing I want to say. And there might be sometimes people might be thinking that, you know, what time we can start a startup, or, you know, maybe there's like you need to wait until you finish your university or until you have become 20 or 30. It's nothing like that. Even in case, let's say, as an inspiration, even if, let's say, you are 30 or 40, 50, only then you get some inspiration to do something. Still do, you know. I think last week I had this webinar series. There was this one lady, a beautiful lady who was really ambitious, already like around 60. And like, you know, some people think that, okay, I'm already 60, I can't start or something. That's nothing like that. If you have some idea and if you are energetic, if you want to really do something, you don't have any age limit. You know, you can do it. And entrepreneurship is not for some age limit or what background and stuff like that, right? If you have something you want to really do, it's like a journey. And also, entrepreneurship is not really a destination. I would say a journey, and only your work will teach you. And like, we can only guide. And of course, we can always, like myself too, I'm always learning from a lot of global leaders and also a lot of entrepreneurs. So that's the thing. I think that's how I started, and now I'm really loving it. Of course, there's so much of challenges, and now too, of course, we will be talking about how we are coping up in this COVID time. And, you know, so the thing is, like, it's amazing, and it's really just like any other work, you know, just like how corporate work is also not that easy. Whether you are going to climb a corporate ladder or whether you are going into entrepreneurship, it's equally a big challenge. And also, it's not easy for anybody. But then I think that's the beauty, that, you know, the process we have to love. We just have to embrace this process, you know, all the challenges. I think without the challenge too, it's boring, right? That's the thing I feel like, you know, if everything is easy and if we know everything already, then I think this journey would be really boring. So that's the thing, how I started off this journey.
Wow, Sunita, it was amazing to know about your journey, how you started. So since you, as you mentioned that already you have faced this, you can say the startup phase. So what are the challenges which any startup usually face? You have personally had gone through that. So if you can share from your experience, the common problem which a startup faces.
Yes, I for me right now personally being into startup, and like I told you, right now this is my third year, and we are all like, I think any challenges, like, any crisis, right now, like whether it, let's say now this is COVID, that, COVID, or whether it is a natural disaster, or even if it is an economic disaster, anything, human made or not. But then I think any challenges, any crisis brings threat or opportunity. It's not always we, that's also our mindset, how we see it. And entrepreneur, or like I think it's not only for entrepreneur, any professional, if you are in corporate or even if you are into entrepreneurship, I think we can see this as an opportunity as well, not only a threat, right? So every opportunity, every desire, every crisis brings an opportunity or threat. And many startup has moved right now, like what challenges we are facing is moving online. Just a lot of startups have started moving online, and even myself. And for me, I did have a plan that, I wanted to go digitalize even before this COVID, and also it up a driver. It became a driver for me that don't wait, you need to move it. So right now it's like, I should say that I'm lucky that because my industry didn't really get, because being into this training and development and education, right? So we can still do a lot of things, and in fact, we it's as an opportunity. We can now, right now, how I'm sharing my knowledge here. Who like, who thought about that, right? Before that, before this pandemic, we were not really going, I mean, of course, business and online, then we were not really like more exposed. Right now I think we have got more creative. And even though like this is like challenges, most of the time most of the businesses have started like most has got into online, but then it's for everybody. I have a lot of like friends and associates who cannot do anything in this pandemic. Even though they are workaholic, they cannot stay home or something, but then there's no choice, because you cannot do anything online. Not like everything is possible to do online. So the
Right.
thing is like taken precautions, and they started running activities like reducing extents, and of course like to take care of your health, and also not really bringing your health into danger. For me personally, what I have decided is like, until let's see how it would go, because really right now we cannot really predict how things will go on, right? Right now of course we are in this stage, and from now, like after a month, you never know how things will go, right? So we just have to go with the flow. The main thing is like right now, it's our mindset. Instead of thinking it's all a threat, let's be positive. And I think instead of also getting anxiety about what will future hold and things like that, I think be at the present, be mindful leader, or even corporate worker, and do the best as you can in this moment. And that is the best you can do. I think that will be more peaceful. And just of course take precautions, and don't go like too much into extent as well, and just do the best as you can in this present. So if you can do it online, just do it. If you can't do it too, you can't help it. That's the thing. And I think instead of like for myself, I decided till the end of the year, I think I'll be just working online. And since I've decided to go online and offline both for my business, so I think it's pretty okay. And also it's like I wouldn't be overconfident, really, to be honest, because I'm also testing the water. So I don't really know, like I think it's the situation for all of us. We don't really know how it would go, but I think instead of being negative, the best thing is like just be positive and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself,
Right.
and always remind yourself that you will just give it your 100%, whatever you're doing right now. Anything you are, even if you are testing the water or something, but still just give your 100%. I think, well, for me personally, what I feel is like even though I said it's an opportunity, but I'm working triple times more than before COVID, because when we are testing new strategies, we are not really familiar. We don't know the future, or we don't know the outcome, but we still have to be confident. We have to keep reminding ourselves that it will be okay, because that's how everybody is adapting, right? So instead of being negative, like just go for it and give your 100%. and just still be positive. And also, if you have to learn something, it's not all like rocket science or something like that too. And also for myself too, I am teaching or like training, and side by side I'm learning what I don't know. And I think this is also a great opportunity where we can be home, and side by side you can also develop your skills and learn. And now through how much we are like, you know, learning from each other, everybody's experience, right? So even myself too, I've been running this webinar series where I talk to global leaders around the world. I have really like done around like 35 to nearly 40 you know, interviews, and there too I have learned so many things from people like all around the world. Like, it's amazing. I can even, I think I can even write a book, you know, because it's always amazing and energizing to always meet people. And I think that's the thing about this, is the beauty about this pandemic, you know, now to how beautifully we all are talking and across the border. And you know, I'm also getting privilege, you know, from Rachna ji, that you know, she invited me in her show and giving me this honor in front of a lot of people. So you know, this is really great. And I think also we should share, you know, we should share all our ideas how we can do. And also this all, we are all together right now, you know, it's not like only myself or yourself. Or if in case if there's something you think that I can be of need, or I can be of help, then always feel free to reach out. That is also something I think right now we are all in challenge. So don't be shy, you know, don't be hesitant that, you know, okay, will they help me or something, but always be proactive, right? So that's a thing which I really believe. And these are the challenges we are all facing, and technically almost everybody, and some of us we cannot help. But of course right now, some in my country especially, now it has become a little bit less you know, less tied up. So now things are changing a little bit, and people have started going out and operating some business. But in our education industry, we are not really allowed to teach yet outside or training. We cannot do that yet. So the government has extended our policy till the mid of July. So they keep extending. So we don't know, you know, it's the best, like I said, instead of getting panic and, you know, anxiety about the future, just be present, be happy as well, you know, be happy and do it as like, okay, like everybody is facing. It's not only us, right? So we cannot help it to if some business is not really, you know, not really booming, and there will be time, you know, it, because this too shall pass, you know, we have to be positive. And if in case not this year, so what, you know, maybe next year, like, you know, maybe just take it as like your learning experience, and just learn from home, do something, and maybe you can start something else too, you know, always be creative. So that's the thing. And for me, like side by side, I have started this home catering food as well, and something like I plan to do on weekends. So because I have a passion for cooking too, and you know, that's a trend right now, like a lot of people are doing like delivery food and stuff. So I don't do too much. It's just like a small amount, and only when I'm free, like weekends, I do. So if in case anybody is interested into that too, I think that also you can try. So you never know, right? Like, you know, you can slowly learn, and also there too, you can learn a lot of things, and you know, how the market is. And also this is like a time where a lot of people are home. So in case that, you know, if anybody is stuck up not what to do in future, or you know, if you have a talent or skill in that, there too you can always chase, you know. So it's like nothing is impossible. You just have to try, and try slowly and small. That's what I believe. Yeah.
Very rightly said, Sunita, that we have to be happy and accept what is there because it's same for everybody. Yes, few courses, few things, few businesses we can do online, few we cannot. So we have to accept that. And as you mentioned in one of your point that somebody had a startup at the age of 65, so age is just a number. We just
Yeah.
have to be, I personally know few of them, like the first abacus classes which was started in India. It was started by a IPS retired police officer. He was around 67 or 68 years. So as rightly mentioned, age is just a number, and within few years, like it was a booming industry. And another, I have come across one article. I don't remember the exact age of a lady. She was around 80 plus, I think. And she used to make, she used to stitch handbags for her grandchildren. And today's tech savvy grandkids, they made it viral, and that is how her startup started. So at the age of 80 plus also, and now she is supplying those handmade bags all across. So that. See, that
That's
is
such
what.
a beautiful and fantastic thing, right? I'm sure she would be so passionate. And also, it's always great to do something you are passionate about. That's what I believe. And I think that's something, I know it's not always possible to do what you like. And, it's not always like, your passion and the market would really, really go along. But most of the time, what I feel is like, if you want to be sustainable, if you want to go far, right, you should do something you love, not like force yourself to really get into, and always test yourself, never be ashamed. And even like, I'm sure you must, I'm sure a lot of us know that Alibaba, right, founder, he always says that, in your age, there's a, that it's not like, which age you should do or something. Of course, that's also his advice. But like, just now I gave you some example of my own webinar series where I was like, interviewing like Malaysian lady. She was just saying like, she was a little bit like feeling low that, I'm already 65 and I have this idea, should we do? And I was like, who cares? You are 60 or 70, or if you still have energy, you still go for it. At least you should be proud that, instead of just like doing nothing, or, just how to say, like, being helpless. I think at least you are doing something. I think it's also much better, like, you are having something to do, and that's nothing like, what age and stuff like that. So that's the thing. I think like, it's always nice. And also now I think this pandemic has really, opened up a lot of opportunity for us, and, we can learn from each other, and also we can work together. We can always team up. And now that a lot of things are like virtual too. And also I think like, a lot of us, all of us are talented. We all have all the talents. Everybody is talented one or the other way. And the only thing is we have to figure out our potential. And to figure out that, you have to try and work, try to experience, instead of just sitting or thinking. And your thinking is something which we cannot do for so long, right?
Sunita, I don't know whether you are aware or not. Recently, around maybe 6 to 8 months back, there was a movie in India, Bullseye. In Hindi, we call it Sand Ki Aankh. And they started that hitting the targets thing at the age of 60 plus. They were two villagers. So I'm sure you must not be aware about it, but one of the principals, she just put it in the comment box. So I thought, even I don't watch much of movies. So was just by reading that comment, yes, Anandi ma'am, you are right, and I have watched that movie. So at the age of 60 plus, also anybody can start. And they were like, they had a very good target, but they didn't knew their potential. And it is like somebody they could see the potential, and then they went worldwide, just winning after winning. So that is how the passion should be there, is all we can say. And
Yeah.
even if you are a 25-30-year-old young entrepreneur, but if you are not energetic, if you don't have innovations or ideas, or if you are not positive, the person can't help it out. So it is everything, you have to be focused and be totally into it. As I started with my first statement, it applies to that. Now, but Sunita, there is a one most important challenges which comes in the for startups is like, if you see today's young entrepreneurs, they have a lot of ideas, innovative ideas, but somehow the investors, like the investment is the problem. So what are the investors saying about the startup, especially during this pandemic situation? Because any startup would require an initial investment, and if you say a young entrepreneur may not have that investment. So can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, the thing is like, right now, of course, like, of course, like starting like entrepreneur or something like that, it's also not that easy. Like, it's easier said than done. And also, of course, I wouldn't say that, every business needs a lot of capital as well. And of course, if you have, let's say, like you have a big dream and you still have like, you still need a lot of capital for your business, then you are looking for investments and investors. Right now, the thing is, a lot of investors are looking for those startups where they are proactively working. So because the thing is, right now, it's not really, that, all a threat, right? It's also an opportunity. Investors are looking out for those startups which are proactively working right now, post-COVID, how they will come out, how they will come out, how, like, what kind of business they will be doing. And also, being their investors, how can they, how can they be making a profit? So main thing is, right now, the investors are looking out for those entrepreneurs, those startups which are proactively working, because I'm sure, you know, right now, a lot of our work is online. And it's also very obvious when you are doing something, right? You cannot really hide things, because if you are working and if you are active, you will be posting things and you will be showing things online. If you can't do that, you cannot be doing marketing. I'm sure this makes sense to all of us, right? So most of us are all professionals and we are working. So you cannot be just like, okay, I'm doing like this, and you cannot be just like, you know, keeping low profile. So the thing is, like, right now, most of the things are all exposed. And also, like I said in the earlier session, that, you know, most of the things are all like, you know, we are really like turning up things online, online selling, or almost everything is getting online. You know, you can do anything, most of the stuff online. But then, like I said, you know, like recently too, I would give an example. One of our like really business tycoon sold a house, a big bungalow online, you know. So that is also an inspiration for all of us.
Amazing.
So, you know, this was also like an inspiration, because when we are like really struggling, right? When we are really struggling and when we are thinking, how can we sell something? You know, when you get that inspiration from people, then, you know, and what was the tip was like, okay, if I can sell a house, a big bungalow, two houses, not even one, that big bungalow, then why can't you? And also the tips was like, get into a program, get professional and do presentation well, and also precisely put up what you have to sell, right? It's not like, you know, the thing is right now, you know, what is the thing is like, right now, the COVID, right? We all are getting into a same boat, but, you know, we all are sailing a different way. And that difference is also our personality and our mindset, how you think, how you see, and also what kind of people you are associated, what kind of people you are daily talking to, where you are engaging yourself. Are you always engaging yourself into negativity? People who are all the time watching watching like negative, like this all news. And I know we have to be aware, but then there should be a limit. And also, are you really engaging yourself with somebody motivated and who see things in a different perspective? So that's the thing. I think it's also about what kind of people you are talking to daily. You know, if you are really talking into somebody who is not really inspiring and really not motivated and not really working, only like, you know, not talking the talk, and, you know, like all the time just really talking big talks, but they're not really doing anything, then you would tend out to be the same. So main thing is like, we have to really watch out whom we are associated, and also really do things, you know, not just talk, you know, and be more disciplined. And right now, I think, let's get back to our same question. The thing is right now, we also, I think almost everybody, not only entrepreneurs, all are like becoming more disciplined, which I see myself too, I'm included too. I'm not really exceptional. I myself, you know, more disciplined. So this is a good thing, you know, this is good out of bed, you know. So I think all, like, you know, all the investors are also looking up for those, you know, startups where they are more like disciplined and what kind of outcome they are bringing. So because like most of the things are all getting online, so it's also easier for people to figure out whether this business is operating or not, whether you have something going on or not, or are you just like stuck up, or are you just like, you know, thinking about only COVID. And also, we shouldn't really give an excuse about COVID. You know, we shouldn't really give an excuse. If COVID is there, it will not change, but then it's not really stopping us. It's us, you know, it's us. If you are stopping, your business is stopping.
Right.
You know, so if you stop, then your business stop. Okay, there might be a day or two, you might be tired, you might be panicking. Okay, we all got confused in the beginning, even myself, 1 or 2 days, or maybe 1 month. It took time for some people. We all are different, right? Maybe it might take a while for somebody else, but we cannot be, as a professionals, we cannot be always stuck up. We cannot be stuck up for so long. If you are stuck up and if you're not operating your business, then nothing. So even the same thing for investors. Investors are looking for the business which are operating now. And there are several businesses which are going triple times, even, you know, more than before. They are working. And it also includes, I would admit, it also includes my business too. I'm more triple times more productive than before this, because that also made me more panic that, okay, how would it go? And also, I'm not saying that you are all successful or something, you know. Operating doesn't mean that you're all successful. It's a process, right? But the main thing is, you cannot just be like working for 1 or 2 months, but then you have to keep on going on. And even, let's say, we don't know the future or something, that COVID and stuff like that, post-COVID too, doesn't matter. You know, the thing is, after this COVID, there will be two types of people. Some will be drained, some will be lost, And then there will be other type of people who will be blossoming, and they will be the one who will be really working harder, and also they will be the one to who will bear the fruits afterwards, you know. So that's a thing. And also, if one way or one strategy doesn't work out, we don't have to lose hope. I mean, even I'm myself personally admitting it's not like every like strategy has worked out for me. I faced so many challenges, and also still facing. And with the challenges, I'm learning. So we all are together in this. So the main thing is right now, all the investors are looking out for those business who are proactively working, and also they will be the one who will be surprising, you know. So that's the thing. And also this COVID, we all are going into the same boat, but then we are all sailing into different direction, all up to our personality and our mindset.
Rightly said, Sunita. Like each and every point has a very valid reason for it. And initially, as you mentioned, all of us were like, life came to a standstill, like what to do. Even for you, you will say even for 10-15 days, even I was totally an offline person. And I had been getting queries, you know, past few years for my programs to do online. And I was never very keen about it. I always used to say, no, I would love to do offline. And when this lockdown was announced, and for 15 days I didn't know, then I thought no. And as you rightly said, you started a web series. I too started with my talk show, Rapid Talks with Rachna, and I learned a lot of things. And to start with, we started playing games on Zoom, just to get a hang of it, how the system works. And now 24/7 is also too less for me as an entrepreneur to work. We have reached, you know, we have reached globally, which never in my dreams also I have even dreamt that I will be reaching globally at this uncertainty. So what I would like to say, uncertainty brings a lot of challenges, and we have two options. If we adapt, the uncertainty can make you or break you. It is all upon you. It is all upon you how you take it. If you want yourself, if you are adaptable with the situation, they will make you up the best version of yourself. And if not, then it will be that they break you. So it is all upon us how we take things and how we have to be positive about each and everything. And very well explained that it is a positive mind only that has to be kept in our mind, to whether it be a startup or any type of ongoing business. Now, most of us, let me tell you, that we have educators all across India who have connected to us on Zoom. We have educators from North India, South India, West India also. I am not able to see whether we have from East India or not today. But and today we couldn't go live, so that definitely we will be sharing the recording on YouTube and Facebook. But it was lovely sharing your thoughts. And whether it be, again I repeat, whether it be a startup or anything, you have to be very much positive. So to sum up, what I would like to say for you is, beauty is nothing without brain, and you are a combination of both. A beautiful woman is a beautiful woman, but a beautiful woman with a brain is absolutely a lethal combination, which is none other than Sunita. So thank you, Sunita, for sharing your insights on the challenges faced by the startups and how they have to cope up with it. So thank you once again to all my viewers also for joining us for today's Rapid Talks with Rachna, and stay tuned for our next Rapid Talks with Rachna. We will be intimating you on social media for our next talk show. Our next talk show is on 2nd of July with a CBSE resource person. So we will be updating you for that. Thank you so much, Sunita.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I would love to connect with you all. You can add me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for this honor. And she's just too kind to say this. And I'm just trying, like everybody, like all of you are also talented. I would love to also know you all. If there is anything I can do, please reach me, and I have a good evening. Thank you so much. Namaste and Minglava.
Namaste, stay home, stay healthy, and be at home till it is most urgent, because Mumbai has extended the lockdown for next 1 month. So even if you are not in Mumbai, please just step out only when it is required, otherwise not. Mr. Brijesh Kumar has written, session was very attractive and thankful. Thank you, Kunaljit sir. And thank you each one of you for attending the session. With this, I sign off for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.